You know who subscribes to Disney Plus? People that have kids, because it's a babysitter. That's it. No one's like rushing out to subscribe to Disney Plus because like a new show dropped.
Because of the content.
Agatha dropped. I've got to subscribe. First topic, hot news over the last 24 hours. We're huge Star Wars fans.
Yep.
So, The Acolyte, I don't think you watched it.
I did not.
I watched it begrudgingly.
And what did you think? You watched the whole thing?
Yeah.
So what did you think?
It was only like 30 minutes an episode.
Yeah.
Oh, it was, and I'm not trying to be like a woke, unwoke fanboy or whatever. As a hardcore Star Wars fan, that show was just, it was awful. It's kind of on par with everything else Disney's put out.
Yeah, because I didn't like Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan was horrible.
I didn't like Obi-Wan.
Mandalorian season 1 was cool. Maybe season 2 was okay, but that show just fell off the face of the earth. Boba Fett was terrible. Andor's good only because it has like great writing.
It's got great writing, great actors.
But if you're one for Rogue One's the best movie that I think they put out. So you're 1 for 7 or 5 or however many movies they put out, and you're also 1 for 6 on the TV shows.
Yeah.
It's not a good average. So it being bad is not an anomaly.
Correct.
It's par for the course.
Correct.
So when it came out, everyone's bitching and moaning. Cost $180 million. Blah blah blah. Well, the news dropped that it cost.
Was it 230?
230 USD is the rumor.
US Disney.
Yeah, that's an insane number if you think about it. And I'm just going to put that into perspective here, okay? So that's just under $29 million an episode.
God, that is so insane.
That's just over, like, just given the runtime of the actual show, excluding the credits and the opening, that's like $1 million a minute, almost. If you want to put that into perspective. House of the Dragon was no more than $10 to $20 million per episode at an hour.
Wow.
And you know how good that show looked.
Yeah, really,
I don't think Game of Thrones even surpassed. That was like 10 to 15. I know they were like a little bit more during the end because they were longer, but just to put all that into perspective, and not to mention that show did not look like it cost $30 million dollars per episode. It looked terrible.
Right.
There's some scenes in it where you're just like, dude, that just...
Like the CGI was
bad?
Bad. Like choreography? I know the fight choreography they said was good.
That was probably the best part, but that's definitely not where the money's going to sit. It's going to be like in the special effects. But just to put all that into perspective, The Empire Strikes Back cost $30 million. I'm just going to go down this list. $30 million to make The Empire Strikes Back. I'm sure if you adjust it, it's still probably not anywhere near, over 100 million. Revenge of the Sith, 113 million.
Okay.
113. Okay. So you're not even at half.
04 or something like that. Like
Attack of the Clones and Phantom Menace, 115 each. Rogue One, 265 million. This show cost 230 million.
Wow.
Rise of Skywalker, 275. Okay, so you're still only 45 million less than that movie, which is like a big budget, Hollywood, one of the most expensive movies, of all time. Force Awakens, 306 million, and The Last Jedi, 317 million. So this show is not much less expensive
than the movies themselves.
Than those movies themselves.
Wow.
And if you were to go back and watch this, you would say, what a terrible show. But one of the episodes, if not like 2, were flashback episodes from a different point of view. Disney needs to get their shit together, man, because we've talked about the Star Wars is like the beloved property of ours.
I know, but it's
so many other people.
It's failing us, getting turned to the dark side.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
Darth Mouse.
And the reason I didn't watch The Acolyte, and the reason I've done this with every other show, I watched The Mandalorian season 1 only because of people saying that it was good.
Right.
I think when The Rise of Skywalker and The Last Jedi came out, those were movies that I immediately went to see. I'm not going to say I didn't have fun. I tried to have as much fun as possible. But looking back, they could have been better.
Oh, yeah.
When the shows started coming out, I was a little hesitant to immediately get on board because we haven't had success lately.
And it's an investment of time, too. It's like, hey, 8 weeks.
I don't want to commit to something. No. It is very hard to commit to a show nowadays because you're trying to do so many fucking things, man.
That's why we do Movie Night Live. We don't talk about... Normally, we don't talk about television here. Star Wars is so near and dear to our hearts that we felt compelled. TV, I can't watch... Like somebody be like, hey bro, you got to check this show out, and I'm like, okay, like how many?
Can't.
It's 3 episodes of 24 episodes each. That's like, okay, I'm gonna go watch The Conjuring, which is 2 hours, and call it a day.
I would prefer that. So when the shows started coming out, I would wait for reviews to tell me if it was good or bad. Mandalorian, everyone was talking about it, so I was like, all right, I'll check it out, and it was good. Look, but it wasn't holy shit. This is so. It was good.
It was unique.
I liked that it was a nice contained story. The writing was good.
Yeah.
I liked that it wasn't trying to be something huge like most Star Wars things. But then Mando season 2, I was like, okay, I'm still on board. But then when they Book of Boba Fett, I heard everything about it, and I was like, I'm not watching that because everyone shit on it.
That show was...
And you can tell me whatever you want about like, oh, make your own opinion. I trust a lot of stuff that I see online, and if that's good or bad, I'm trying to save myself 8 hours.
Yeah. Book of Boba Fett was a phone show, which I categorize that as something I'm looking at my phone the entire time. I looked up maybe a few times, and I was like, oh, this is still on. What's it called? Mando season 2. I don't remember
what happened
except the end when Luke shows up is probably the coolest thing.
Oh yeah, but I don't remember anything. I forgot Luke even showed up.
I don't remember much out of the first 2 seasons except for that.
Yeah.
That's it. And then it ended. TV is so forgettable. For it to cost $230 million when something like Godzilla -1 costs like $20 million.
Yeah. I don't know if you had any like really A-tier actors or actresses in the show. Didn't Carrie-Anne Moss die in the first episode too?
Spoiler alert, yeah.
Sorry. Well, but I knew that. My biggest thing when 230 million, when I hear that as someone who didn't watch the show but kind of at least knows the story around it, what did the money go to? Truthfully, like that is
they canceled it.
That is no, but
I mean, they didn't renew it.
But then also everyone trying to put a petition to get the show back. If you love it, even if you love it, you have to know financially it was a failure. And you have to know from a business standpoint, they cannot deal with failures, especially $230 million failures.
They need new
writers. A company
writers.
Cannot survive failing on a $230 million investment.
Can you imagine if you lost $230 million?
No!
Like, are you lost at home $230 million?
Yeah, how about a viewer? How about you? Anyone who really wants to sign the petition to get the show back, why don't you write a $230 million script and then Disney will put the show back on?
If you gave me a fraction of that and we're like, hey Mike, sit in this room for 6 months and write me a show, I think that's the argument for most hardcore Star Wars fans. So now I'm probably not going to watch any new shit that comes out on Disney Plus. I'll wait. If it gets good reviews, I'll watch it. Maybe I'll watch some YouTube clips, but it sucks. It's kind of the nail in the coffin. Maybe I'll just watch the prequels over and I'll watch Empire Strikes Back in the original trilogy.
Well, man, start making movies. Go back to movies.
Get these shows out of here.
Yeah, you heard him. You heard him.
The fucking shows. Dude, imagine if they just made, hey, look, we're going to make a Mandalorian instead of a fucking 8-part show. We're going to make a 2.5-hour movie. And in 2 years, we'll make The Mandalorian 2, and then we're going to release it in the theater. They're fucking themselves because they keep releasing these shows, hoping that it's going to get subscribers. You know who subscribes to Disney Plus? People that have fucking kids, because it's a babysitter. That's it. No one's like rushing out to subscribe to Disney Plus because like a new show
because of the content.
Agatha dropped. I've got to subscribe.
Was that not well received? Is everyone hating on that now too?
I haven't watched a Marvel show.
I don't know.
Like Marvel's fucking stupid. After Infinity War, it's gone.
Correct. But it's just the oversaturation of the shit that we loved.
So yeah, that show, 230 million. That's almost as much. That's more than over half of the Star Wars movies that came out. Almost as much as the best movies that Disney's put out.
Yep.